Have you claimed my seat? Have you claimed my filming spot? You're so cute. My goodness, look at those ears. You're gonna have to move though. You're gonna have to move though. Precious angel. Good morning. There's a needle on the shelf. A tapestry needle, it looks like. Anyways, good morning. My name is Leigh. Welcome to my space, my corner of the internet. Also the corner of my craft room slash studio slash craft room. If you're new here, I am an illustrator who crafts in all her free time. I mostly talk about knitting here, but I also talk about whatever other crafts I happen to be dabbling in at the moment. Crochet, cross stitch, sewing. I think I have a little bit of all of the things to show you today. Knitting, crochet, cross stitch, and sewing today. And I have a lot to talk about because it's been 2 weeks since I filmed last. I never write notes, so I tend to ramble and bounce around a bit, so I hope you enjoy that. That's your warning. That's my disclaimer for today, is it's a mess. I'm a mess. This is who I am as a person. I'm wearing my Seaborn tee today. It is a design by Hannah of Herb Garden Knitwear, and I knit mine out of Juniper Moon Nev. It is a 100% cotton, and I love this top. It is so easy to wear. It has a little bit of, it looks like it's a little bit wrinkly, but it's okay. It's okay. It's cotton. It takes the shape of however it's sitting at the moment. Oh, I got a new mug. It is from Suma Wares. That's S-U-M-A. And I bought it at one of my favorite local coffee shops. I was so excited. Wow, I have a lot to talk about today though, crafting wise. If you're new here, I tend to bounce around a bit, and some of the things you will see today you may not have seen in a minute. I mean, if you're new here, you wouldn't have ever seen them. But if you are returning, you may see a thing or two here today that you have not seen in a while, and it is suddenly making a reappearance, because that is also who I am as a person. Every once in a while, I just decide, I'm gonna work on this thing I haven't touched in a while, and then maybe finish it. So let's go. Oh, I also have some acquisitions, so that'll be fun to talk about today. Real quick, I'm gonna do like a full, how I normally do like my life update stuff at the end of the video, but I did want to say, because this is relevant to some of my acquisitions, that I was out of town this past week. That's why I didn't film. That's why there wasn't a podcast. And I may have purchased a couple of things while I was gone, and also made some money while I was gone. And when you make money, what do? You spend it on yarn. So let's get into it. Let's get into the stuff today. The first FO I have to show you is not here. Actually, I'm gonna do my summer sock camp update like I have been doing. I will do that next. So I'm not gonna just have FOs, whips, and cast on plans. I'm going to have all of my FOs and whips of things that aren't socks for summer sock camp, and then I will have a summer sock camp update after that, and then I'll do cast on plans at the end. That's how we're gonna do it again today. So we'll skip that FO I was about to talk about and go straight into the not sock FO, and I'm very excited about it. I'm so excited about this finished object. It is freshly blocked. I could have worn it today, I guess, but I literally just took it off the blocking mats, so it felt like a shame to just go ahead and put it right on my body. I want to like enjoy it beautifully blocked real quick, like for a little while. I need to take photos and such, but this is my finished Hello from My Colors crop. And wow, I was really hoping that blocking would help with how ridiculous it looked, and it surely did. I think it turned out absolutely perfect, exactly what I wanted. This yarn blocked out so soft, as it usually does. This is not my first time knitting with it, but oh my gosh, I love it. I love it so much. It is, oh, it's so good. It's so good. This is, like I said, a Hello from My Colors crop. It is a design by Jessie Mae Martinson of Jessie Made Designs. I obviously did the short sleeve version because that's what I wanted. I wanted a t-shirt. I started doing the classic length, which is like 11 inches long, I think. But I did this section of color work, this section of color work, and then changed my mind. So these last 3 sections of color work, I actually did the cropped length for them. The body ended up being maybe 10.5 inches, so I'm not actually that much shorter after blocking. And I haven't tried it on yet, so I'm hoping it's not too long, but I wanted it to be not super cropped. I wanted it to be like a casual length shirt. So I'm hoping it looks a good length to me. So the yarn is Knit Picks Palette. I love this yarn. It is a non-superwash. It's a wool. Is it like Peruvian Highland wool? I don't know. It's 100% wool, non-superwash wool, and I love it. And it's cheap and also lovely. It blocks so soft. Oh, I have a ball here of a different color. Yes, 100% Peruvian Highland wool. Knit Picks Palette. This is not the color, any of the colors I used, but this is what it looks like. Yeah, if you haven't used it before. The colors I used, the main color here, which is the cuff, collar, and bottom, this lighter blue, is Ciel or Ciel. It's C-I-E-L, like Spanish for sky. So I guess that would be Ciel. The dark green is Forest Heather. The gray is Gosling. The yellow is Turmeric. And then the dark blue here is Marine Heather. And those are the colors I used. I had picked out this palette, like this color palette for the shawlography. Last year's Stephen West Mystery Knit Along. I picked out these colors, and then I realized I didn't want to do the knit along, but I still wanted to use these colors. So I had them saved in my cart, and I ordered them to make this. And I'm so in love. I'm so in love with this. Oh, it's so good. I should try it on for you. I think I might put it on. Hold, please. And we're back. This is it. I'm not gonna stand up because the bottom half of me is a mess right now. I'm literally wearing like pajama shorts. But now we can spend the rest of the podcast looking cute in our new Hello from My Colors crop. Oh my god, it's so cute. And I was worried when I blocked it out that the collar would end up being too open, but it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. I love it. Oh my god. Ah. Okay. Done fawning over this top. That is my only FO. That's not a sock. Now, what whips do I have that aren't socks? The first whip I have that is not a sock is here in my handmade project bag that I made using vintage fabrics and some canvas, just stuff. This is my Moonset Tee by Ozetta. And I'm not gonna linger on this for very long because I have not done very much, but it looks like this. I have basically finished the back. That is not any different than last time you saw it. I have to knit like 2 more rows, but besides that, the back is finished, or down to the armpit. And I have, since you saw me last, where is it? Oh, here it is. I ripped out the back left collar that I had started. I ripped it out and I started it again, and I finished the back left collar. This will be twice as long when the right collar is done, but this is the back left collar, and I'm about to do whatever it is I need to do the front left collar here. So that's all I did. Not very much, but it made it out of timeout. So yay for that. This yarn is incredible. It makes the most like light, it weighs absolutely nothing. The most light, beautiful fabric. It is Shibui Pebble in the color Ivory, and it is a 48% recycled silk, 36% fine merino, and 16% cashmere. It is so lovely. Ooh, I'm riding up. So good. So good. And that's it. That's all I'm going to talk about that one, because I did not do hardly anything on it. But I did want to mention it because it made it out of hibernation. After I finished this bad boy, I was like, instead of casting on something new, I'm going to work on something I have going and finish another thing. So that's what I'm working on. I'm working on finishing some things. Do you guys do that where you cast on a bunch of stuff and then you get in cast on moods, you cast on a bunch of stuff, or you get into finish it moods and you finish a bunch of stuff all at once? That's usually how I go. All right. The only other whips I have that aren't socks are not knitting. Wow. Yes, not knitting. One is a cast on. It is a new cast on, but it is crochet. And I have been gardening. If you don't follow me on social media, well, I guess I don't really talk about it all that much anyway, but I do have a little bit of a garden out back. We don't have a really big yard. We have a really tiny little like postage stamp yard because we rent a townhouse and it's just not very big. It's just a little garden. But I have been planting things out there. I've been doing a lot of container gardening, and also I have one flower bed in the actual yard that I have been nurturing some flowers in. My poppies are blooming and it's very exciting. But anyways, I've been outside doing my gardening every day, and my husband asked me where my sun hat was. I used to have a sun hat, and I told him I got rid of it when we moved because I didn't really like it. It didn't really fit. And it reminded me that I work at a yarn shop and I'd been eyeballing this Wool and the Gang raffia. It's raffia. And this color this color specifically is Cinnamon Dust. And I've been eyeballing it and wondering what I could make with it. And turns out it's ideal for a hat. So I'm making myself a sun hat. It looks so silly right now. I am on the brim, obviously. I still have, it's supposed to be about 4 inches total. So I have a few inches left. But, oh my gosh. It turned out kind of big. Like, look how large this hat looks. It doesn't fit tight on my head at all. It's like a big hat. But I think it's going to be perfect. That's it. That's all I can say, I guess, about it. I am using the Bee Queen collection, or one of my Bee Queen collection hooks in the 4.5 millimeter size. Why are you doing this? My camera is not wanting to focus today. Oh, and the pattern. I can't remember the name of it. It is a Wool and the Gang pattern that you can get when you purchase the yarn, the raffia. Let's see if I can find the name of it. It is the Worn This Way Summer Hat. I just have the picture of the front page on my phone. The Worn This Way Summer Hat. It is a Wool and the Gang pattern. And that's my next whip. I'm really excited about this. Working with raffia was an adjustment for sure when I first started, but I'm enjoying it now. I am enjoying it now. And I'm very excited to have my sun hat. I'm actually planning a second one already because I'm gonna make one as a shop sample. I'm only gonna leave it at the shop for like 3 months. I mean, by 3 months I might not need it anymore, so I might leave it there till next summer, but I am also making a shop sample that will eventually come home to me. And I'm going to be making it out of this color. This is Dune Green, which I couldn't decide between the two colors, so I had to get both. And this is also one of my acquisitions that I forgot to put down here with my acquisitions. But since I've shown it to you already, that's it. That's all you get. All right, my last two whips are neither knitting nor crochet. They are cross stitch and sewing. I have one of each. We'll do a quick peek at the cross stitch because I don't know how exciting it's going to be for you to look at. I have been working still on my Death by Cross Stitch. This is a pattern by Long Dog Samplers, and it is a big ol' boy. It is a big cross stitch. I don't know if you'll be able to see at all how much I've done on this since the last episode, but this is how wide it is, and it's folded in half, so it's twice that length. But since you saw this last, I filled this line all the way to the end. I think I'm gonna double check my count at some point, but all the way to the end, just so I would have the full width marked. And then I have been working steadily on filling in this section. I did a bunch of half crosses filling in this section, and I did this square here. And I've crossed a bunch, because last time you saw it, I had a bunch of single crosses, and I did a bunch of finishing of them. So that's where I am with Death by Cross Stitch. I may need to mark this somehow so we know exactly where I was last time you saw it, and I can keep you updated accurately. So that's it for that. I'm not going to go too long about it because it's hard to tell what I did. The last whip I have is a sewing project. Now don't ask me about my skirt, my linen skirt. I put one button on it. I did take it downstairs so it would be near me, and I did put one button on it. And that's as far as I got. But I did decide that I wanted something new, so I took out the pieces I'd cut from my hinterland. I had cut them a long time ago and put them away in the closet because I wasn't ready to sew it up yet. But I finally started sewing up my hinterland. Now the first things, these aren't the first things I actually sewed, but the first things I'm going to show you are the waist ties. I sewed both of the waist ties into tubes and flipped them. I just need to top stitch both of them and attach them to the bodice, or pin them to the bodice, so I can do some sewing on the bodice, which is here. It is inside out, but the linen is yarn dyed, so it's reversible, so it looks, the fabric is exactly the same on the inside as on the outside. But this is the bodice. I did my stay stitching around the collar and armholes, and then I pinned it together. Oh wait, no, I also did the darts, the bust darts. I did the bust darts, both sides. So I stay stitched and did bust darts, and then I pinned it together and did all the pressing and such, and it is pinned together, waiting for the waist ties so that I can sew the sides and shoulder seams down. After that, I will, I don't know, figure out what I need to do next. I'm taking this one step at a time because my skirt I self-drafted. This has actual instructions. So with instructions, it's my first time and sewing a garment, and I'm just taking my time, just taking it one step at a time, trying not to read too far ahead. I did read through it, so I knew what I was doing, but I'm trying not to like let it intimidate me. So this is where I am with that. I think it is looking great. I am doing the version with just a placket down the front, not a full placket all the way down the skirt. and cap sleeves or short sleeves. That is the version I'm making. Oh, and this is the Hinterland by So Liberated. And I'm sewing it by hand. I decided that I was going to just, if I wanted to go ahead and just start it without feeling overly intimidated, I wasn't going to try to machine sew it. So I am sewing this by hand. So it is taking a minute, but I did all of this and these in one day. So there you go. Not too bad, not too shabby. I haven't worked on it since then, but you know, ain't that the way. My top is riding up because I'm not wearing a bra, and that's fine. All right, the last project I'm going to talk about real quick is neither an FO or a whip. It is actually a frog. I know. I know. You may have been wondering where this project went. I put it in timeout. What is it, you may ask? It is my Bessie. My Bessie by Jacqueline C. Slack. I don't think I have a photo. I have the schematic. It is a circular yoke, top-down, blousey type top. And I was knitting mine out of tinsel. This yarn is absolutely gorgeous. It is dyed by Terrapin Fiberworks, and it is the color Meaningful Conversation. It is one of her Bridgerton colorways, and I love it. It is absolutely gorgeous, so beautiful, and so fun to work with. The thing is though, I don't like it for this top. I thought it would be great in theory, but it doesn't look very neat when you have to pick up around the collar. And honestly, that is the one thing. That is the only thing. Is it just doesn't look neat around the collar. And it's enough. It's enough for me to want to frog it. So I'm going to frog this, and I'm going to knit something else out of this yarn. When I was trying to decide originally what I wanted to make with this yarn, I wanted to decide between the Bessie and the Open Edge Tee by Jessie Mae Martinson. So I might do the Open Edge Tee since it was my other option. I'm going to go and I'm going to double check the construction of that one to make sure I'm not going to have similar issues. But yeah, I think with this yarn I need something a little more straightforward. Not as much going back and picking things up, because I think I'd have to do this again for the sleeves, and it's just not cute. It's just not cute. It's supposed to be a design feature to have the edge of the stitches showing where you went back and picked up, but it's just not right. It's just not right. So that is that. We will say goodbye to the Bessie, and we will not mourn her for very long. Soon this yarn will be something else, and perhaps I will make a Bessie out of another yarn another time. Goodbye. That is it, I think, for everything except socks. Now my summer sock camp update will be a lot of blather this time. I have forgotten my notebook. Hold please. Oh, my thighs are sore. I did some workouts yesterday because I've been sedentary and it was upsetting my body. So I did some workouts yesterday and my thighs are sore. Love that for me. Anyways, summer sock camp. I will do a full summer sock camp update. I have my summer sock camp page in here to show you. I also have a new knit along that I'm participating in. I'm double dipping with summer sock camp in this other knit along. And I have an update for that, of that for you too as well. So first things first, I will tell you about the second knit along. It is the YBD Summer Sock Cal, and it is a knit along we are hosting at the yarn shop where I work, Yarns by Design. We are collaborating with a local dyer here in Pittsburgh. Oh, I never told you I'm in Pittsburgh. But we're collaborating with a local dyer. She dyed a whole bunch of yarn for us. It's Ex Libris Fibers. Her yarn is beautiful. It is so gorgeous. I will make sure to link her social media down below. But she dyed up a whole bunch of yarn for us. And anyone who purchased the yarn to knit socks and knits a pair of socks within the allotted amount of time is participating and gets to be submitted in for a raffle. We are unfortunately sold out of her yarn at this point, so I'm participating in that. Yeah, I think those are the, oh no, I'm also participating in, I lied, there's not just one more knit along. I'm also participating in the Christmas in July make along for, I forgot one of my FOs. Hold on. Ooh, okay. I'm also participating in the Christmas in July make along hosted by Dana Rae Makes. I love Dana Rae Makes. Her designs are really cute and her posts are just, they bring me so much joy. Her aesthetic is insane. It's so good. So those are the 3 knit alongs I am currently participating in. I will also be participating in Sock Week when it happens, but it has not started yet. So let's, with all of that in mind, go into my actual projects. The first project I have to show you is not here. It is an FO that I left in South Carolina. It is another brother sock. It's a different brother, but I knit a pair of socks for my brother. Here, perhaps. I think it might be on this side. I guess I could put it on either side. I don't know. I think I normally put it on this side. But here are my brother's socks. They are the Rhinebeck Roomies pattern by Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady, and the yarn was 29 Bridges. The colorway was Truffle. The socks. It was a sock set with the grayish main color and the speckly blue and pink heel and toe. That was pair number 5, I believe, for sock camp. Now my second FO is, well, my third FO, my second FO sock are for my they're my 6th pair of socks for sock camp, but they're also for the Christmas in July make along. And these are for Brad. Oh, I did them both. There are 2 socks. These are the micro sock kit, I believe that's what it's called, from Legacy Fiber Arts, and this was from the Christmas Vacation collection, and this is Griswold Christmas Tree. And I love it so much. I didn't use the Scattered Pearls sock pattern from Summer Lee like exactly. I did use the texture from it for the body of the sock. So I guess I kind of used it, but that's the pattern. That's the texture. It's Scattered Pearls by Summer Lee Knits. I don't think the label for this one is in my basket. I have labels like all over the studio at this point, just scattered everywhere. So that's my other FO, and I physically have these here. These have been blocked and are in the sock box already. So that is that. Now we have whips. Oh gosh, I am a mess with whips. Now, if you are new here, I have a challenge I set for myself this year with socks. And it is to knit a pair of striped socks every month for the entire year. And I was keeping up with it until sock camp started, because I know it sounds really counterintuitive, but before sock camp started, I held off on starting my June pair of socks. No, May. Yes, my May pair of socks. I held off on starting them until camp started, which was at the very end of May. For some reason. I think I just wanted to just work on other things, but it's fine. So that put me a little bit behind, especially since I've been knitting other socks. But the first pair of socks in progress I want to show you are my May striped socks. Yes, they're still in progress. I have one sock completely finished. I believe this was finished last time in the last episode. And I have gotten to the toe of my second sock. Finally getting these done. I will finish the toe and put in the heel here today, and these will be done today. That is my goal. I have set for myself. These will be done today. And then I will have June to finish. and I can start my July socks. My goal here is to finish my June socks by the middle of July so that I can have the last half of July to finish my to start and finish my July socks and be caught up. Speaking of June socks, I have the first one finished. Oh, I didn't even tell you about the yarn for my May socks. What am I doing? This yarn is Desert Vista Dye Works, the colorway George. It's based on George Strait. And I'm doing the toe and heel in the same color. I'm doing an afterthought heel, and I'm doing a 7x1 rib on the leg and top of the foot. And those are the details for that one. Now June, this is just my vanilla sock. My vanilla sock recipe is always listed down below in the description box, always. I have it written down there forever. They're basically always the same. Unless I tell you otherwise, that's what it is. And this is a true vanilla sock, only stockinette. And the colorway is a Republic of Wool color. And it's called Lost at Sea. And this is one of the ones that is micro striping, which I count as my striped socks. I picked a few micro striping colors because I just love them. And they turned out so cute. I'm also not doing a contrast heel and toe for these. These were definitely travel knitting and I didn't want to make it too complicated. So these, I didn't think needed it. This colorway is so beautiful. It definitely holds its own. It doesn't need anything extra. There we go. So gorgeous. Beautiful. And there's my June socks, my June striped socks. I have not started July yet, but I will show you here in just a minute what color I have picked for July. I only have one more whip. The last whip I have, oh, I didn't tell you about my bags either. My May striped socks, my George ones, back to them, are in this Woodsy and Wild project bag. And my June striped socks are in this, my new Barbie project bag. It is absurdly large. It is hilariously large for the single sock that is in it, but I was traveling with it and I had 2 pairs of socks in it at the time. My last pair of socks are in this project bag by Della Q. And I have my tag here. These are the socks I'm knitting for my yarn shop knit along. And this is the Ex Libris logo. And I am using the Wuthering Heights sock set. It is Wuthering Heights for the main color, and the mini is called Renfield. And I have one sock done. It is currently this way because I was taking a photo of it. You know, normally I have them like this because this is how they knit. But this is my finished Wuthering Heights sock. I did the leg just a little bit shorter on this one because I just didn't feel like knitting a long leg. I only did it about 10 rounds shorter, but that's still shorter. So this is that Renfield colorway, and then this is Wuthering Heights. So beautiful and a bit spooky. It is a lot of fun. I can't wait to knit more Ex Libris socks. I'm going to really hope that we restock soon because it's great. It's great. I love it. I have not started the second sock yet, but I will be casting that on today. I'm going to try to finish my George socks first, but this is next in line. That is all I have for whips. That's all I have for whips. Now for future cast-ons, like I said, I have been in a mood to finish things. So I don't have a lot planned, except for my July striped socks. Like I said, I want to finish my June socks by the middle of this month so that I can get my July socks, striped socks started. And these will also be a double dip. I will be doing them as part of the Christmas in July make along as well. I have picked out for July, my striped socks are going to be Very Vintage Christmas by Tiny Human Knits. I have a I have not picked my contrast color for this yet, but I'm thinking maybe a dark green, maybe a gold. I'm not sure. These will be a lot of fun. These are my July striped socks / Christmas in July, and thinking a really long time. I was thinking about sock week. I need to pick a yarn for sock week. Actually, I think I've already picked a yarn for sock week. Anyway, let me show you my knitting notebook, my sock week page, my summer sock camp page. I have finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pairs of socks total for summer sock camp. Here you can see of all of the ones that I wanted to finish for sock camp, I am on track. All the ones with 1 cross have been started. All the ones with 2 crosses have been finished. And then these are the ones that I have started / finished since camp started that aren't on the top list. You can see there the Griswold tree one, family Christmas tree ones are crossed off. That means they're finished. Once they're written down here, it means they're started. So that's how I'm keeping track, which means I have started 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pairs since camp started and finished 6 of those 10. My goal for the whole summer was 18 pairs, which means I am 1/3 of the way through, and I'm a little over 1/3 of the way through time, but I have a couple of pairs half finished, so I think I'm okay. I'll be finishing a 7th pair today. If I can get my George socks finished, that's a 7th pair today. And then I think I'll be right on track. So that is my summer sock camp update. I don't think I have plans for any other future cast-ons right now. I have been itching a lot to stitch. Got the stitching itch. All right, so acquisitions. Yes, that's all I got for knitting and whips and other things. Any acquisitions. My first acquisitions are going to be sewing related. I will have yarn acquisitions after, so if you're only interested in yarn, please hold tight. I'll try to make the sewing acquisition quick. It's actually 2 sewing patterns. They are both vintage. One is actually vintage, like printed vintage, and then the other one is a vintage reprint that they brought back at Joann's. So it's printed new, but the original pattern was vintage. And we'll start with that one. I bought it at Joann's. It is a McCall's pattern. It is McCall's M8257. And I got the size ZZ, which is the large XL, double XL. And it is vintage from the 70s, and look at it. I am dying for these pants. Like, absolutely. I want to make them in a really nice loose fabric so that it looks like the skirt when I'm wearing it, except it's pants. And I also love these square sleeved, like handkerchief sleeve tops. Obsessed. Obsessed. So I'm going to be making a set. Yeah, I'm going to make a set. I don't have fabric for this yet, but it's happening. And the other pattern I ordered on Etsy, it is actually vintage, and it is a New Look pattern. It is New Look 6424, and this is a 1990s shirt pattern. And let me tell you, I bought this specifically. I was looking for just like a standard button-down shirt pattern, but like this version here with the high collar and the little, oh my god, this is just giving me all of the 90s anime vibes, and I need it. I need it in my life. So I will be making one of these in a solid fabric. I don't have the fabric for it yet either. I bought a white double gauze for a button-down shirt, which is why I was searching for one of these, but I don't want to use that for this shirt. So I ended up giving myself an extra project while I was looking for a pattern for fabric I already had. And that's it for sewing acquisitions. My other acquisitions are yarn. First thing is a half skein, a 50-gram skein of Cruel Summer from Nomadic Yarns. You have already seen socks knit out of this. I knit them while on vacation and gave them to my brother, but I still want them for myself. So I ordered another half skein for myself, and it's here. And then all the others are new. This one is, when I ordered my sock set from Ex Libris for the knit along, I also ordered a skein of Dracula. And this is a beautiful, most Halloween-y, spooky color. I'm so excited to add it to my Halloween yarn collection, and I am so excited for Halloween. I'm so ready to start knitting Halloween things. So I needed this, needed it. And then the other two skeins I have are new skeins from Ancient Arts yarn. This is my first time purchasing from Ancient Arts. They are a dyer in Canada, and okay. So one of these colors I've been eyeballing for a very long time. It came out a while ago, and I fell in love when I saw it on my Instagram feed, but I hadn't been able to talk myself into placing an order because I didn't want to just order one skein of yarn from Canada. But then a second color came out that I also really loved. It actually came out last Christmas. I loved it. I didn't order it, and she just re-released it. So I couldn't pass it up. I had to order both of them. This is the first one. It is Eye of the Kraken, and it is insane. Beautiful. These are both on the Socknado fingering base. But that was the first one, and then the one that was released last Christmas that she just re-released is Office Donut Party. I couldn't say no to Office Donut Party. Look at it. Might have to cast this one on for Christmas in July. So those are my two. That was my order from Ancient Arts Yarn. No regrets. Absolutely none. They're both so beautiful. Eye of the Kraken might be a good one to cast on for Sock Week. I will think about that. And that's it for acquisitions, I believe. I came home with a ton of stuff from my trip, but none of it is yarny related. Most of it's like art related. I bought some actual art like from other people, and I also bought art supplies and was also gifted art supplies for my birthday from my mother. So none of those things are very interesting for me to show on here, but I did come home with a slew of things. I actually had to ship myself a box of things back. Ooh. But yeah, that's all I got, I think, for crafty content. I can give you a quick update on how my last weekend went. This past weekend, I was out of town. I went to a convention in Charlotte, North Carolina. I went to Heroes Con. It is a comic and pop culture convention that was actually my first convention that I ever tabled at. So I go every year that I can. Obviously, there were a couple of years that I couldn't because it wasn't happening. This was my first year back since the panoramic. And wow, it was nice to be back, especially back in like my old stomping grounds. I went to college really close to Charlotte, and since I did the show every year, I had a lot of people that I knew that I was able to see again that I hadn't seen in a really long time. It was just really nice to see people and to peddle my wares. It was a good time. It was a good time, and it was also really successful. It ended up being, I know it's the first show back since, you know, a long time away, but I basically went with all new things because it's been so long. I've made new stuff since then. So all of my product was basically new, and I ended up having the best show financially yet of all time for me. I still have a lot of growth. I still can do a lot better, and I plan already to have even more new things at my next couple of shows. I'm doing one in August in Chicago, and I will have new enamel pins for that. And I have a show here in Pittsburgh in September that I'm going to be making some spooky Halloween themed things for. So I'm really excited to be back in the swing of shows and making things regularly for them, because it's a great motivator to keep me making stuff, to have shows to get ready for. I just love it so much. Had a great time. it was nice to get a paycheck this month. It's very, working as a freelance illustrator is very inconsistent. You usually, the way it usually works is bursts of money, not steady money every week, you know? So it was nice to get like a full paycheck this month or last month. It was just good. It was good. I'm very, very happy. I feel very fulfilled. My heart is full. So I also come back from shows really motivated to make art. So I've been having some fun. I've been having some fun. If you are interested at all, I know this is a crafting channel, not an art channel, but if you are interested at all in seeing more of my art stuff, I do have an art Instagram that I'll link below. I always have it linked below. I also have an art Patreon that I post even more things on, like behind the scenes stuff. And yeah, feel free to check it out if you're interested. I do have just like a tip jar tier where you can just like show support and get all my behind the scenes content, or you can subscribe to physical rewards. I do have one tier where I send out stickers every month. I design a new sticker for patrons every month and send out in snail mail. So that's a lot of fun. And I think that's it. We don't have a lot going on in personal life right now, just because I've been traveling and such, and now we're about to really hunker down and get ready to go on vacation. At the end of August, we're going on vacation, and we have to hunker down and make sure that like we're financially ready and our car is ready, so like physically ready and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for joining me today. Feel free to subscribe if you want to see more, if you want me to blather on at you another time, and I will see you all in the next one.